Has Samsung finally done it? So the ultimate goal with these folding phones has always been to have a completely normal flagship phone when you want to, you know, with a normal shape and size and weight, with flagship performance and cameras and battery life, but to also then be able to unfold it into a full-fledged tablet whenever you want to without any compromise. And so the question is, has Samsung finally done that with the Galaxy Z Fold7? And honestly, my quick answer to that question is mostly yeah, but maybe not all the way, but let me explain. Now, if this is your first time to one of my practical reviews, this is not going to be like a full-fledged comprehensive review covering every single detail of the phone, but more so it's just going to be my personal thoughts of the main things that stuck out to me during my actual daily usage. And so just for context, I switched to this phone from the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is my favorite phone that I have ever used. And so my question coming from that phone was, can the Z Fold7 actually hold up versus the S25 Ultra, or are there compromises that are gonna make me want to switch back? And so let me start off with the things that I did like about this phone, the things that held up, and then we'll move on to the things that maybe didn't quite hold up. Now, obviously, the first thing we have to talk about here is the form factor, because obviously this is what we've been waiting for all this time, because it is now finally thin enough to where when you fold it in half, it's now about the same thickness as my S25 Ultra. And then also, possibly even more important to me, is that they finally made the outside screen more usable, because if you remember last year, but especially years prior, the front screen on the Z Folds have been very skinny, and it's just awkward to use when you have a skinny screen like that. Now, it's not perfect, and I'll get to that later on in the video, but we finally get a 21:9 aspect ratio, which is a fairly normal aspect ratio. In fact, it's actually the same aspect ratio as we get on the Sony Xperia phones. And honestly, the thickness of the phone and the aspect ratio of the phone are two of the main things that have deterred me from using folding phones in the past. Now, if you've watched my previous reviews, you might know that performance is easily one of the most important things to me when it comes to using a smartphone. And honestly, it's not even really for like super intensive tasks. I actually just care a lot about the overall smoothness and snappiness of the day-to-day use, you know, going through apps and going through the operating system. And so it's probably not a surprise that because this phone does have the best mobile processor on the market, which is actually the same exact processor as the Galaxy S25 Ultra, that my experience in that area has been great. Now, I will say there was an instance where I was trying to edit a video in CapCut, and that's not something I normally do. I normally edit all of my videos in Adobe Premiere on my computer, but it was being a bit laggy for some reason while trying to edit in CapCut, and I feel like that's not an issue I've had on my S25 Ultra, so I don't exactly know why that was. But besides that, the performance has been super good. Now, one of the headlining features of this phone was the fact that they put the same 200 megapixel main sensor as the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And so with that, yes, you can take some insanely detailed photos, but what I really like about it is that because this is a folding phone, you can flip around the screen to take selfies with the rear-facing camera, meaning that you can take 200 megapixel selfies. Like, name me another phone that can take 200 megapixel selfies. Like, that's crazy. Now, of course, because this is a folding phone, it makes for great multitasking. But also, because they did make the outside screen wider than before, that also results in the inside screen being wider than before. So when you do multitask on this thing, it's really like you have two phones side by side, which makes the multitasking experience so good. Like, you can watch a full-size TikTok feed while also scrolling a full-size Twitter feed. I don't know why you would ever want to do that. If you do need to do that, then you probably need to take a break, but you can do that. But what's even more useful for me is I can have a document open and my email open at the same time, and I can copy things from the document and then paste it over into my email, which just makes doing emails for me even faster than before. Now, based on what I've been saying so far, it might sound like we finally have the perfect folding phone, but no, not quite. There's some complaints I have, but before we get to that, it's time we hear from today's sponsor. So this video is sponsored by Viture, and these are their brand new Luma Pro XR glasses. And believe it or not, I currently have Samsung DeX right in front of my eyes. Now, if you've never used XR glasses before, it's kind of hard to show you exactly what it's like through the camera, but what we have here is two displays, one for each eye, that combine to create a very sharp, very bright 120 hertz display right in front of you. Now, the way these work is pretty simple. They just come with this magnetic cable that attaches to the glasses themselves, and then the other end is USB-C, and you can plug it into any device that supports display out over USB-C, like my smartphone. So like I mentioned, you can use this with Samsung DeX, or you can just mirror your phone screen to watch YouTube videos on your personal display. They even just did a collaboration with 8BitDo for this mobile controller, so now you can really do some mobile gaming with these glasses. Or if I want to get some work done, I can also plug these right into my laptop. But then what's very cool is you can pick up their Pro mobile dock, which then allows you to connect consoles to the glasses. So like you can use an Xbox, you can use a PS5, and yes, you can even connect a Nintendo Switch too. And by the way, yes, these do have built-in speakers, and they also have built-in electrochromic dimming, so you can dim the glasses with the press of a button so that you can see the screens better. And by the way, if all of that wasn't enough, these also have the ability to turn virtually any piece of content into 3D in real time if you download their app. But anyways, if you guys want to check out the Viture Luma Pro for yourself, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description, but now let's get back to the video. Okay, so I do like the Z Fold7 a lot. I just need to preface this section with saying that. But yeah, like I mentioned, there are some things that are not perfect. Now, there's really only two main things that I think need to be improved on this phone. And the first one is, unfortunately, the battery life. I mean, at the end of the day, it does have a smaller battery than my S25 Ultra, so it's going to get less battery life. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's also not great. It's sitting more in the area of like okay battery life, in my opinion. I mean, I'm getting on average pretty much every day around 5-ish hours of screen on time, maybe a little bit more. And let me tell you, I would feel a lot more comfortable if I could get like 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, but it's honestly just not happening for me. Now, the other main problem with this phone, and honestly, it's not even really a problem with the phone itself, is app scaling. So when you have an app open on the front screen of this phone, but then you go ahead and unfold the phone, you would expect to then see more content on the screen, right? Because, you know, you have more screen real estate. But unfortunately, that's just not true for a lot of apps. So like a really good example I have is in the TikTok app. If I'm just viewing my page on the smaller cover screen of this phone, you can notice that there are all of these pieces of content visible. I mean, you almost have like 9 pieces of content visible. And so when I unfold the phone, you would expect to see even more pieces of content on the screen, but actually you see way less. Like you literally see about 3 pieces of content on the screen because it is so zoomed in. And again, this really is not an issue with this phone itself. It's really more, I think, just a problem with foldables in general, because it seems like to me, a lot of app developers just haven't optimized their apps to scale correctly on this, you know, unique aspect ratio. Now, this isn't true with all apps. Like, in fact, there are some apps that are designed specifically to work well with folding phones and actually add more functionality than when you use that app on a regular phone, but it just seems like that's not the case for most apps, unfortunately. Now, those were my 2 main complaints, but I do have some that I guess are a little bit less important. One, you may have seen that this phone has an insane table wobble. This is probably the worst wobble I have ever seen. If you're trying to use this phone flat down on a table, good luck, because it's gonna be wobbling all over the place. Then 2, while they did fix the skinny screen issue that Z Folds have had in the past, it's still not my ideal aspect ratio. It's still a little bit skinnier than my S25 Ultra, so that's really just a preference thing, but I would still wish that it would be a bit wider. And then lastly, I just want to set your expectations for this device, because it's actually more so like the base Galaxy S25 rather than the S25 Ultra. Like, yes, it does have that 200 megapixel main sensor from the S25 Ultra, but all of the other cameras are worse, more similar to the Galaxy S25. And then also, this Z Fold7 doesn't have titanium rails like the Ultra. It doesn't have 45-watt fast charging like the Ultra. It doesn't have that anti-reflective display like the Ultra. And also, for some reason, it can't record 4K video at 120 frames per second like the Ultra, even though it has the same main sensor and processor. So yeah, while I would say this is a total flagship folding phone, I would not say it's an ultra folding phone. It's just more of a regular base flagship folding phone. And so at the end of the day, I probably will keep using this phone for a little while longer, but honestly, I do see myself switching back to the Ultra for that slightly wider outside display, for that anti-reflective display, and for the better battery life. But if you're somebody who's looking for a folding phone, well, then yes, this one is my favorite one. Like, Samsung made a big leap this year, and this thing is awesome. I mean, I do still like my S25 Ultra more, but this thing is still awesome. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Galaxy Z Fold7. Like, do you see yourself using something like this? But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks again to Viture for sponsoring this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.